Hello everyone and welcome to today's daily report market analysis videos with me, Richard Perry, market analyst at Hantec. On Tuesday the 6th of August there has been a bit of a change in sentiment overnight. What we've seen is that we've seen a slight reversal whereby the safe haven plays, for example the yen, gold, have started to correct back a slight amount. Now that's come as the whole concept of currency manipulation by China has come to the fore again. The US Treasury Department has officially labelled China as a currency manipulator. Now, China have fought back from that and said that they do not do that. And interestingly enough, the daily fixing around which the Chinese yuan fluctuates against the dollar of 2%, they fixed that below 7 again. And actually on a stronger level than yesterday. So that's helped to drag dollar yuan back a little bit, and that's helped to change some of the sentiment around these markets. We've seen bond yields ticking higher on treasury yields. We've seen dollar yen, for example, rebounding from yesterday's low of 105.50, rebounding back into the 106s and above actually, and started to see a little bit of a turnaround on equity markets as well. It's interesting that we saw the S&P 500 futures ticking higher after a 3% sell-off on the S&P 500 yesterday. And it was interesting that what we saw on, for example, the Nikkei was a sharp rebound into the close, closing towards the highs of the day. Nikkei was still lower on the day, but certainly an intraday turnaround. You see gold turning a corner at 1474, and it's back now around about 1% off those highs. So interesting whether this now is a big turning point in the market and market sentiment can start to improve again, maybe a bit of a shakeout, or whether this is just a bit of a near-term respite before further bearish sentiment comes through again. So it certainly is going to be something that we need to keep an eye on. Now, in terms of data points today, we haven't really got anything apart from the jolts. The US jobs openings at 3 o'clock. And it's expected to basically stay around 7.32 million. We've also got James Bullard, who is the Uber dove on the FOMC committee, a voting member as well, and he speaks at 5 o'clock. So let's have a look out for what he says later. Likelihood is that he'll be calling for further rate cuts. He didn't vote for a 50 basis point rate cut in the last meeting. So interesting to see what happens there. Now, that takes me on to my chart of the day, which is Euro Canadian. Now, what we've seen is Euro Canadian building this consolidation over recent weeks as the momentum indicators have been rising in a big bursting breakout as that euro strengthened. But that breakout completed a base pattern which actually implied 148.60, which was this old level of support, which is basically a level of overhead supply. Now you can see this old floor between 48.60 I've got in here, which is that reaction low back from June, up to 49 figure area, big level of overhead supply. That capped the upside in the recovery, which was the implied target again. The market then subsequently turned a corner backwards. Now look at this RSI, 60 around where we see that turning point again. Stochastics up towards a level at which they have previously started to fall over as well. So is this the limit of that euro rally? Question marks around euro dollar. I'll talk about that in the chart analysis video in a bit. But is Euro Canadian already starting to dissipate? Well, negative candle today would certainly have an impact, and I think that neckline breakout of 47.15, this breakout point, is going to be a key level that the market now starts to look out for. You can see that level on the hourly chart, 47.15, this breakout, and that becomes supportive. So what we've seen is the market just unwinding back to 50 on the hourly, which is tends to be a point at which little corrections do start to build support again. So again, another interesting turning point potentially. So this is definitely a chart that I would be keeping an eye on and seeing how this sentiment around the euro really does change, because obviously euro Canadian, as said, at key turning points on a medium term basis, 60 on the RSI, and hitting that underside, that overhead supply of 48.60 and turning backwards. So this is definitely a chart that I'm going to be keeping an eye on for sentiment wise. So with that in mind, I wish you good luck in your trading. Click here to subscribe to our videos on YouTube, and also you can go to our website where you can sign up for our trading webinars. Thank you very much.